Picture this. It's a sunny Saturday. Your backyard's alive with laughter. Burgers are sizzling, and your family's finally together after months apart. You're thinking this is what life's about. Then bum, a woman with a clipboard, storms in like she owns your soul, demanding your kids' IDs because they didn't RSVP to your own barbecue. Sounds insane, right? That's where our story starts. But it doesn't stop there. This isn't just about a petty HOA Karen, it's a wild tale of power trips, a federal judge swinging legal hammers, and a neighborhood fighting back against a decade of corruption. By the end, you'll see how one guy's spatula flipped an entire tyranny upside down. Don't blink, you won't want to miss a second of this. Willow Creek Estates was the kind of place you'd see on a real estate ad and think, what? Made it neat. Lawns, a shiny playground, and a park so perfect it begged for picnics. James Davis, 35, had just moved in 3 months ago, fresh off a promotion and ready to plant roots. He'd scraped together every penny for this house, picturing weekends with his sister's kids tearing through the yard. That first barbecue was his housewarming a reunion with his parents. William and Linda and his sister Melissa's chaotic crew, the grill smoked, the sprinklers sprayed, and James felt like king of his castle, till Eleanor Thompson crashed the party. Eleanor, 50-something, was the HOA president, a title she wore like a crown. Her blonde hair was sprayed stiff, her floral blouse screamed, "I'm in charge," and that clipboard, it was her Excalibur. She marched across James's grass, heels sinking into the turf, and barked, "Are these people registered?" Midburger Flip blinked. "They're my family. It's a barbecue." Eleanor's eyes narrowed. Bylaw 3.12, page 47. All visitors must register 72 hours in advance. No exceptions. Melissa, chasing her toddler, froze. Register? For a weekend, Eleanor scribbled on her clipboard. "First warning, Mr. Davis. Rules keep our property values up." The judge enters the fray from the patio, Judge William. Davis watched, beer in hand. At 65, he was a federal judge of Stern District, no less with a voice that could calm a riot or cut through nonsense. "Eleanor," he said, standing, "are you saying my grandkids need a hall pass to hug there?" "Uncle?" She didn't flinch. "Even judges follow HOA rules, sir." William smirked. "I'd love to see the case law where an HOA trumps private property rights." Eleanor flushed but doubled down. "It's in the covenant he signed. Next time, register them more face fines." Strutted off, leaving a chill over the party. James apologized to Melissa, just some HOA drama. But William's wheels were turning. "People like her don't stop at warnings," he said. Sipping his beer, asterisk the birthday blow-up a few weeks later, James's 35th birthday rolled around. His parents surprised him, Linda, with a chocolate cake, William with a gift box. They sat on the porch, sipping iced tea, when a black SUV rolled up like a SWAT team. Eleanor emerged, flanked by Martin Greenberg, bald, smug, HOA VP, and Diane Perkins, secretary, all sharp angles and sharper glares. "Unregistered guests," Eleanor declared, slapping James with a $500 fine. "Second violation?" Linda gaped. "We're his parents?" Diane sniffed. "You could be anyone." William stood, calm as a lake. "May I see the bylaw?" Eleanor smirked. "This isn't a courtroom, Judge." He nodded. "True, but I know unreasonable when I see it." They left, fine in hand, and James felt the first real sting of Eleanor's reign. That night, he cracked open the HOA covenant. The rule was there, but fuzzy meant for long-term guests, not cake-bearing parents. William's words echoed. "Read it, son. Knowledge is power." James shrugged it off as petty bureaucracy. He didn't know Eleanor's cameras were all ready, tracking every car on his street, or that she'd emailed the board about his known compliance. Asterisk, the emergency that changed everything. The real showdown hit at 5:30 a.m. weeks later. James's sister Kate, crashing at his place during a home reno, screamed from the guest room. My water broke 6 weeks early." James bolted, helping her to the car as her husband Tom grabbed their bags. Kate groaned, clutching her belly, blood seeping through her sweats. James floored it until Eleanor's SUV blocked the driveway. "Unregistered guests," she said, arms crossed. "She's in labor," James roared. "Move," Martin started. "Filming? Another violation?" Tom begged. "Our baby's coming," Eleanor smirked. "Rules don't bend for emergencies." "Where's her doctor's note?" Kate screamed again. Neighbors peeked out. Mrs. Wilson, in a bathrobe, ran over. "Eleanor, she's bleeding, move." 10 minutes ticked by again before an ambulance navigated around the blockade. At the hospital, Kate delivered a frail, "But fighting girl," James called William, voice shaking. "They blocked us, Dad. She could have died." William's tone was steel. "Names and addresses, James." Now, that night he arrived, laptop glowing. Their HOA SA Shema Improperly Incorporated, in Martin's landscaping gig, a cash grab. The fight was on. The judge digs in. William didn't mess around. With county contacts, he unearthed dirt. Bylaws never filed right. Contracts funneled to Martin's company at triple rates. Eleanor's sister, pocketing consulting fees. James found a $1,500 fine in his mailbox, threatening. "A lien. They're escalating," William said, grinning. "Good, they're sloppy." The next day, county officials raided the HOA office. Eleanor shrieked about privacy. The lead investigator flashed a warrant. Audit time. Neighbors gawked as files were carted out. Eleanor spotted James and William. "You'll regret." This, William shrugged. "If your books are clean, what's the worry?" The neighborhood revolts word spread like wildfire. The emergency HOA meeting was a circus, every seat taken, residents fuming. Eleanor tried to spin it, but William dropped bombs. $43,000 to her husband's LLC. Landscaping perks for bored cronies. Selective rule enforcement. "My son's family got banned," he said, but Schmidt's cousins stayed weeks nothing. The crowd erupted. Rose, a feisty retiree, moved to oust the board second. Echoed around. Eleanor stormed out, yelling about lawsuits, but William shouted, "Fraud investigators outside." A cop car loomed. Martin hissed at James, "You'll never sell here." A kid filmed it viral bait. The county froze, HOA funds suspended. The board, chaos reigned, but the tide had turned. Justice rolls in 3 weeks later. Eleanor and Martin faced charges. Threats hit James's phone, "Back off or your house burns." But police patrolled. In court, Eleanor's lawyer cried. Vendetta, but a new judge, touched by her sway, saw through it. Then Eleanor flipped, pleading guilty, spilling a decade of dirt. Developers, bribes, fake inspections across 17 communities. She got 7 years. Others fell like dominoes. James took over as HOA president. Recovered funds built a pool of victory splash. The guest rule. Families welcome anytime. As his niece giggled in the water, he knew. One stand had rewritten the rules. Asterisk my take. Insights from an HOA story veteran. I've been spinning HOA yarns for years. And Eleanor's a classic clipboard crusader, all petty power, no soul. These types infest neighborhoods, turning picket fences into prison bars. But this story's got legs beyond the stereotype. Let's unpack it. Eleanor's barbecue bust wasn't about rules. It was control. I've seen it before. A Virginia. HOA in 2017 fined a guy $200 for a non-approved mailbox color. He painted it their shade. They fined him again for not filing a repaint form. Sound familiar? It's not property values, it's ego. Eleanor's 72-hour rule was flimsy to convenience. Can't override basic rights without ironclad wording. William knew that. Most don't. The emergency blockade. It's where she crossed into felony territory. Reminds me of a 2019 Arizona case. An HOA locked a gate during a wildfire evacuation, claimed security. Residents sued, won big, and dissolved the board. Eleanor's Lucky Kate's baby survived obstruction of emergency access isn't. Just mean it's jail time. The financial rot Martin's contracts. Eleanor's kickback smear is a 2015 California scandal. An HOA there siphoned $500,000 into fake repairs for board buddies. A tenant's leaked email blew it open. Prison followed. Willow Creek's audit was textbook. Follow the money and the house of cards falls. Real-world examples. HOA nightmares I've tracked. Let's detour into my files because this isn't rare. In Florida, 2018, an HOA banned a veteran's American flag, said it clashed. He cited state law, rallied neighbors, and won. Property values. 15% after. Lesson: freedom sells. Or Texas, 2020. An HOA axed a family's Christmas lights too bright. Neighbors lit up their own yards in solidarity. Collective pushback works. Then there's Ohio. 2016. An HOA fined a single mom for her kid's lemonade stand. Commercial activity? She posted it online. Donations flooded in, and the HOA backed off amid PR hell. Small battles spark big wins. Eleanor underestimated that, thought her clipboard was a shield. It wasn't. What if? Alternate paths. Imagine James didn't fight. Eleanor might have banned all guests without ID checks. Think TSA for your driveway. I've seen it pitched. A Georgia HOA in 2021 wanted pet DNA tests to fine owners for poop. Cost killed it, but the intent was pure control. Or if William wasn't a judge, must lack that clout, but you don't need it. A 2019 Ohio mom beat a no-hoops rule with a petition 50 signatures one day. Numbers trump titles. What if Eleanor doubled down? Picture her hiring goons to enforce checkpoints. A 2014 Nevada HOA tried armed patrol states shut it down fast. Power craves escalation. Justice craves patience. James and William played it smart, legal, slow, lethal. Lessons learned. Your playbook. Here's what this saga teaches straight from my HOA war chest. Know your rights, James. Skimmed the covenant rookie move. HOAs have sway, but state laws often override. In most states, they can't ban family visits without explicit voted-on clauses. Read your doc's. Ignorance is their weapon. Fight early. That barbecue spat seemed trivial till it wasn't. Nip petty tyranny in the bud. A $50 fine today is a $1,500 lien tomorrow. Document everything: texts, notices, videos. Evidence buries them. Unite. James won because Rose, Mrs. Wilson, and the rest stood up. Uja's fear: crowds call, meetings, vote, protest. A 2018 Colorado HOA crumbled when 70% of owners demanded transparency. Strengths in numbers. Play the long game. William didn't. Punch walls he called county pals, dug records, waited. Justice isn't instant, but it's relentless with proof. Patience plus paper trails topple empires. Closing scene. A poolside promise. 6 months post-trial. James lounged by the new pool, lemonade sweating in the sun. His nieces splashed. William read the paper headlines of jailed crooks and Rose toasted to freedom. Willow Creek glowed again, not with Eleanor's iron fist, but with community grit. One barbecue had unshackled them all. This isn't just James's win, it's yours. HOA Karens thrive on silence, but speak up and they fold. Whether it's a grill, a flag, or a kid's laughter, draw your line. Eleanor learned the hard way. In America, no clipboard outranks the lore, the people. So next time your HOA knocks, ask, who's really in charge here? Spoiler, it's you.